Alright, what's up, losers? So I'm back. So a lot of you guys actually had questions on this, saying like some of it didn't work, or like what does this do, what does that do? So I'm just gonna make like a little part two. So this is already if you built it. If you didn't build it, go check out my previous video, and you'll learn how to build it. It's really easy. So I'm just gonna go through a couple of the questions. So let's start. Alright, so well, one of the first questions was how do you actually get the XP? So I actually explained it in the end of the video, but I'll explain it again. So you just grab any random item. You have to grab at least two different items. These are I just grabbed these because these are the first thing. So you're just gonna fill it up. You just have to fill the chest. I actually have junk items in here already. I didn't even know. So you're just gonna fill it up, and then you're gonna fill the hoppers up with a different item so it doesn't get sucked in. What this is gonna do is it's gonna stop the furnaces from the item from going back into the chest. So now all you have to do is you grab it from here, and then you'll get the XP from the furnaces. So that's how you do that part. And then once you like get whatever XP you need, you just unclog it, and then the iron will come back in here. There you go. You unclog it, and then just goes back to normal, and then it'll keep running. Alright, so another question was, a lot of people were saying they weren't getting a lot of XP when they were actually getting it from the furnace. So the way this farm works is the kelp will smelt, and every time a piece of kelp smelts, zero point 0.1 XP will be added to the furnace. So that's not a lot of XP. So all you have to do is just keep letting it run. So as you can see, I have a bunch of kelp in here, and it's gonna keep running. And the more kelp that gets smelted through each furnace, the more XP will be stored in the furnace. So I really can't give you like an exact time, but just give it like, I don't know, I'll say around 2 hours, and then you should start getting a good amount of XP. But it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, even when you use it, you can keep using it. It'll still keep storing no matter what. So like let's say you use it, right? You clog it up, and then you grab some. All you have to do is unclog it, and then all the kelp that goes through it again will also add to the XP. It's not like it gets rid of the already XP in there, so you could just keep going with it. Alright, now here's probably one of like the biggest questions. A lot of people were saying the kelp wasn't growing, so I'm just gonna run the machine. So that's how it's supposed to look, but a lot of people were saying like the kelp wasn't growing, or like maybe the sand was falling, like it would look like that. And then I need to actually update it so that, oh, like, okay, like exactly that would happen, where all the sand would break. All you have to, so let's say all the, like this would break. All you do is you just replace it, just like that. You have to make sure you do the double row. Do the double row, replace the sand, replace the kelp, and then it should be good. Or people were saying that the kelp wasn't growing, so I'll show you an example of that. Alright, so here, I'll show you an example. As you can see, the kelp actually isn't growing, so I'll show you why. Blocks doesn't really matter, these don't do anything, but over here, as you can see, there's actually sand under here. That just means that you probably, some of the sand fell, and you fixed it without removing this. You have to make sure you remove the sand. Because the way this works is the game thinks when these pistons pull it back, the game thinks that the sand is supposed to fall. Well, it's not actually falling because it's getting pushed back so fast that it's not gonna fall. So if you have blocks here, since the game now it's not ever going through the falling phase, so the game won't register it and the zero tick won't work. So you have to make sure that there's never any blocks under here. So I mean there's solutions to this. Like one time I put torches under here, so that if the sand did fall, then it would fall and break. But the problem with this is sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes the sand lags and it lands on top of it, or sometimes the water comes and breaks all the torches. So it doesn't really matter. Just make sure you check on it. Make sure there's no sand under here. And then, as you can see, I fixed it. So let's see if it works now. There we go. It's working. Oh, and there's a good example how the sand fell. So remember, you just fix it, double it up, just like that. Alright, and the last problem wasn't really a question, but it was a suggestion someone made. They said, why don't you make a bamboo farm on one side and then the kelp farm on the other side so that you have an infinite fuel source? Well, you actually don't need to do that. Because if you think about it, you have dried kelp here. So you can grab all the dried kelp from the chest. It won't change anything with the furnace. It'll still work. And you grab a crafting table. You take all the dried kelp. And then, let me just do this. You turn it into the kelp blocks, right? And kelp blocks are actually a fuel source, so you put it in the fuel chest, and then they'll just start going into here. So I put coal in here just so that it would work, but I can actually take the coal out, just like this, as you can see, the dried kelp blocks actually work as a fuel source, so you have infinite fuel. That's why this farm is so good, because you don't need any other farm. It's just a lone farm. So I hope that answers all the questions. If you guys do have any more questions, just comment below, and I'll try to answer as fast as possible. Thanks.